You want all the illegals to come in, all right, quietly, but officially you're against it. But you want your companies that are lining your pockets, you want them to be straight. So we have to fix that. So like I said, go from the top. I want law and order established, 3,000 to 7,000 troops dispatched along the Mexican border. I don't want a wall that has too many environmental repercussions. All right, now we go to, I want processing centers. Now this costs a lot of money. Again, you conservatives out there, you have a major problem with spending money and you want big tax. You don't like your big government. You hate illegals. You're going to have a big government to process these people. You hate spending money. I hate big government. I don't want to spend all, I don't want all these taxes. Well, I'm sorry. What you want is a large government operation. You want to get rid of and deport millions of undocumented illegal workers. Well, I'm sorry. That's going to take a big government problem. Like I said, processing centers all over the Rio Grande, all the way to San Diego, all the way across the Southwest, making sure everybody is up to date. Everybody has to speak English. I want everybody to get through the process to become a United States citizen. I want to remove the incentives to enter a country illegally by preventing employers from hiring undocumented workers and enforcing that law. I want a system that allows undocumented immigrants who are in good standing to pay a fine for being illegal, to learn English, like I said, 5 to 7 years, and go back to the back of the line for opportunity to become citizens. And I also think that the United States of America should promote the economic development in Mexico to decrease this economic desperation that leads to illegal immigration. So instead of papers, please, my solution is amnesty. If you're illegal and you have a felony record, you got massive drug records, you got violent crime, you're a sex offender, you're out and you don't come back, period. You're expelled from the United States of America, the best country in the world. You're expelled. If you're an illegal and you're a felon, get the fuck out, period. I know it might piss you off, but hey, but I don't like this profiling. I don't like it because I get profiled. I go out to a nice neighborhood and I go out to, you know, the suburbs. I get profiled. So I don't like that. I don't like that you should be able to ask for my papers. I don't like that. It's fucking racist. It's Nazism bullshit. And you people on the right always talk about how it's Nazism. That's Nazism. Is this law constitutional? 2 points. Racial profiling is unconstitutional. Also, only the federal government can deal in foreign policy. That belongs with the federal government, as with the Native Americans. The Native Americans don't deal with, like in my case, Wisconsin. They don't deal with the state of Wisconsin. They deal with the United States federal government. They can't take on an issue about immigrants from a foreign country. This is why an Arizona law will never stand. One, because it has to do with racial profiling. You can look at it the way you want, but when it comes down to, you're not going to bother a light-skinned, a white, blue-eyed, blonde-haired motherfucker come through Mexico. You ain't going to bother him. But if you're dark-haired, you got the black hair and the brown eyes and the dark skin, you're going to run his name, you're going to run his plates, you're going to run to see if he has his name, his number, his ID, and everything. And if he doesn't have it, let's just say, oh, you know, he's in a hurry to get to work, and he's a regular American. He's in a hurry. He left everything. What, is he going to go to ICE? He's going to go to the federal department because he looks like an undocumented worker, but he's a United States citizen. And that's racial profiling. That's unconstitutional. And the second part, like I said, is foreign policy. These are foreign immigrants. Only the foreign government can deal with it. And like I said, the United States government has failed on this issue, which is why amnesty and my solution works. So we'll briefly go over it again. We went over the law. We broke it down. It's racial profiling. They want to crack down on all the coyotes. They want to crack down on the 450,000 illegals in and out of Arizona. The people of Arizona who back this law are afraid of a Mexican culture taking over. They're afraid of losing their culture. They're afraid, again, I said it before, they're afraid of losing their jobs, their way of life, their country. They're afraid it will become a northern province of Mexico. This is what the right is afraid of, and a lot of Arizona citizens. We went over the crime rates by immigrants, which is much lower than that of United States citizens. I don't care if they are immigrants, legal immigrants, or whatever. If they're illegal or legal immigrants, their rates are lower than a United States citizen. We went over the differing views of the Republican and conservative and the Democrats. The Democrats have almost a plan that is similar to mine, which is amnesty for all. The United States, the White House, President Obama is against this law, and they're digging into it. How to fix it. How to challenge it. Because first of all, one, is racial profiling, and two, only the federal government can deal with foreign policy. The state of Arizona cannot. They made this plan to try to, in cooperation with the federal government, but they can't. Because the federal government is the only one that can deal with it, which is the reason why this amnesty has to be taken care of. And Obama has to take care of it. We went over Petty Rodgers, one of my high-ranking officers. We took the conservative take. I told you about the political fallout for the Democrats. It's good for us. The Latino vote is going to be with us. They hate that. It's a fact. I told you my take on this is that it's like the Fugitive Slave Act. It's Jim Crow. It's Nazi Gestapoism. And they talk about Obama being a Nazi. The laws that they want to implement here is Nazi-like. Also pointed out the fact that African Americans, Irish, Italian, Jewish, all the ethnicities that came in the late 1800s and 1900s, they've all had to melt in. And Latinos, you have to melt in. And you already have begun to melt in. I know this because I live in a predominantly Latino neighborhood. And each generation, as it gets into the country, loses the tongue even more and melts in even more. But the people that come straight over, and what the Americans see, the Arizonans see, is people that only speak Spanish. But after we install this amnesty, everybody's going to be able to speak English over a period of time, and everybody's going to become a citizen. And I told you my solution: establish law and order. There's no law and order on the border. I want President Obama to send 3,000 to 7,000 troops. Obama already dispatched 1,600, but I say another 3,000 to 7,000 troops are needed. We need to create posts and expand government. I know you hate to hear that, but you conservatives out there that want this taken care of, Walt's take is giving you an avenue. I want posts where they teach you how to be a United States citizen, where they teach you English. I want posts that will process you in the country. I want posts that will process you out all the way throughout the Southwest, everywhere. California, Arizona, Utah, Nevada, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma. Everything over there should have processing centers up the ass so we can take care of this problem. Amnesty for all non-felon and illegal immigrants. Like I said, 5 to 7 years to learn English. Go through the process to become a U.S. citizen, pay the fine, become employed, and become a productive member of society. Get rid of the incentives for these companies. These companies that give all these incentives for illegal immigrants to come over there. So basically, these people have to hire Americans. So then you don't have this avenue for all these illegal immigrants. Because you have to hire Americans. I know you hate to have to pay somebody $10, $12 an hour. You can pay the illegal immigrant $4 an hour. Well, that's not right. Because you're cutting us off, Americans off, and then you're bringing in these people. And these people do it for free, and then you don't want them there. I want a system that allows undocumented immigrants who are in good standing, like I said, to pay a fine, learn English, and become a citizen. And finally, we want, as a nation, to promote the economic development in Mexico. Can you follow? To decrease the economic desperation that leads to illegal immigration. I know this is a boring topic. I'm not swearing as much, and we're just talking about the meat and potatoes of this whole issue. But the fact remains, this has to be talked about.